Hiya.
Hello.
Welcome to GGKCS, the multi-generational podcast slash FlossTube for fans of all things knitting, cross-stitch, and geeky. I'm Cece,
I'm Dammy.
and we're glad to have you today. Today is Thursday, the 24th of September, 2020, and this is episode 414. We'd like to say a big welcome back. We love you guys. We love y'all. I was telling them last week, Dammy, that I'm trying to get better about not saying like guys or girls, but making it more inclusive. So I'm trying to use y'all instead, which I use all the time. I don't know why I say you guys. Anyway, that's beyond the point. A big welcome back. We love y'all to our returning viewers, and a big hiya to any new viewers. Thanks for giving us a shot. We hope you enjoy the show. Dammy is back with us this week, all the way from Seattle, Washington. And I am on the Kitsap Peninsula. So we're knocking on wood and crossing all our fingers that technology is going to behave. So Dammy has 3 roommates, and I think they might all be home right now. They are. Okay. So just FYI, if you see them look away, that's why. Oh wait, Dammy's telling me things. Oh, one of them is making breakfast. It's all right. We're all good. We're all family here. It's all right. And I have my show notes on my phone, which are sitting down on my legs. So if I'm looking down, that's why. This is a whole thing we've got to get adjusted back to. We haven't done it this way in a year and a half.
Yeah.
So it's going to take a little adjustment, but hopefully it's going to all work, and we're going to be good to go. Do you have anything you want to say here at the beginning? You want to give any update about you're back at school? Because last time we recorded together, you weren't at school yet.
I have nothing to say.
Okay. It's an adjustment?
Yeah.
I was mentioning to them last week, and I think maybe also in my Stitch With Me, that I think it's an adjustment for all of y'all, because it's nothing like what it was when you left in March. So, yeah. So it is definitely an adjustment. Okay, well, we have quite a bit to talk about, including a review of the new Pom Pom Quarterly that I showed y'all last week. So we probably should get started. Here we go.
And now we're going to talk about what's on her needles.
Yes. So Dammy had a location move because they were in the living room, but now all your roommates are up, so now you're in her bedroom.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Well, I just have one thing on the needles in my project bag from Nerdbird Makery, and I am working on what I'm calling my Hello Pumpkin socks, which is from my Frenchianella Cappuccino sock pattern that you can get on our website, javapearldesigns.com. I'm doing these on US 1.5, 2.5 mil needles, and the yarn is Pandia's Jewels Snug in the Pumpkin Spice colorway, and X-Ray and Fingering in the semi-solid Battleship colorway. And look at my adorable pumpkin stitch marker from Ann Tudor. So this is the first sock, and look, I've already finished the heel. So yeah, so I'm making good progress on this. I need to get these socks finished so I can cast on socks for my bestie Katie's birthday. But thankfully, her birthday is later in October, and it's okay if I'm late because I've been late, I think, with the entire families this year. They're excited to get CC socks no matter when they get them. So, yeah. So that's the only thing I have on the needles. I'll talk about back to school in Yummies. Don't let me forget that I want to. Did you see that?
See what?
The light, did it change for you on my end?
No.
Okay, so obviously I'm sitting on the couch. The light by the front door, it's been on, but all of a sudden, like, it changed in brightness about 100%.
The bulb might be about to go out.
It probably is. but all of a sudden it was just like, and I was like, wait, what? I was like, oh no, is the power going out like it did last night? We've had storms. So.
And it's raining very hard here.
It slowed down, but it was pouring this morning when I got up. So, yeah, so remind me, I want to talk about school in Yummies. Sorry, distraction because of, it was a ghost. It wasn't Pinky. Pinky's asleep on the couch over here. I couldn't get a picture at the angle I was sitting, and I couldn't get up fast enough to take a picture, but she's asleep and she's like doing that whole curled up thing, but then all of a sudden she's still in the curled up position and tried to baby bunny.
Baby.
And so like she realized very quickly that it did not work to be in the croissant position and try to baby bunny at the same time with her head up against the arm of the couch.
Baby.
She's very sweet. We'll get her in a little bit and she can be on after I finish my coffee because we were ready to record and I bumped my knee on the tray table that I had the computer on and spilled coffee everywhere. Which means I need more coffee. This segment is over 5 minutes long and I talked about a pair of socks. Okay, I think we're ready. Let's move on to the next segment.
And now we're going to talk about her finished project.
Yes, just
I don't
one.
have the
One project.
I don't have the show notes open. I could open them back up. I'll do that.
Yeah, you should do that. Okay, so here's my FO for this week. This is my 38th preemie hat for this year. 38. 38. 38. It's from my free top-down preemie hat pattern that you can get on our website, javapearldesigns.com. On US 6's 4mm needles, and the yarn, the darker color is Knitting in France Sparkles in the Something About CC colorway. Yes, it was made just for me. And the lighter color is the Pandia's Jewels Super Sparkle in the Electric Pink colorway. So this is what was left over from the socks that I did for, the surprise socks I did for Rebecca and Lou. And then I had knit a sweater out of this. Does this not scream CC? I'm trying to... I'm trying to get the color to be a little truer because this is looking darker than it actually is. This is a pale
And
pink.
you can't really see the sparkle either. I think it's partly because it's a gray day too.
Yeah, well, and I discovered though last week when I recorded at the table in the office, and I didn't have the overhead light on. I had the one in the kitchen on, and the light was amazing. The colors were so true. But I'm recording in here. Well, Dammy and I've already talked about this, but the reason I'm recording in here is because we're hoping to, knock on wood, avoid some of the internet issues that we had when we recorded this way before, because our internet router is like line of sight to my bedroom back in that direction. And if I'm in the office there, it's like around a corner and it's not direct line of sight. So that's why I'm sitting in here when I'm recording with Dammy. The end. I finished a hat, 38th for the year. And it screams CC. It doesn't fit my head though. But that's everything for this segment. So let's move on to the next one. And now it's time for FlossTube. What you got, Dammy?
Stitched on anything. I've been busy.
Yeah, trying to get adjusted to classes and being back in school. So, but you're planning to start Hallie's hat that you're going to knit soon.
Yeah. Sometime I've got it right here. It's in the bag. It's in my drawer.
That
and
is
I've got
a very
my whole little bag of notions too.
That's a beautiful project bag that you stole from me.
You let me. This bag
Yes,
is from Fat Cat Creates. Got geometric kitties on it.
Yes. Okay, let me then talk about what I'm working on. So Dammy, I told them last week that I'm going to try to remember to take pictures each week of where I am when I show, and then that way I can put it on the screen and they can see like how much progress I've made since I showed it last week, like I'm doing with Edinburgh Castle, but I'm going to try to do it with all my projects. So, okay, first up in this project bag from Tilting Planet, I have my project that I work on during my weekly Stitch with Me. It is Baba Black Sheep by the Prairie Schooler. It was a gift from Michelle Bindi Stitchy, and this is where I was last week when I recorded. And here's where I'm at now. So I'm on an 18 count Ada that was dyed by Erin, the 2 Martini Stitcher. And I had finished all the bags, I think last week. And so this week I did the line underneath, and then I started filling in the letters. So I work on that weekly during my Stitch with Me's. And this week I made up my own tag for my Stitch with Me. It was called CC Autumn this or that, and I answered I don't know, about a dozen this or that questions about autumn. And then in next week's Stitch with Me, I've got like autumn favorites and questions that I'm gonna do. So I do those, I record them on Sundays and they go live on Mondays. So okay, next up in my sunflower project bag from Stitching the High Notes, Joanna, I am working on Hello Pumpkin by Stitching with the Housewives. And I am doing this on, hold on, I gotta get the, oh, I should show while I have this open. I am using a snippety from Caddy Cross Stitches that you put your floss on, and there's also a magnet under the label there. I'm looking for the fabric label. Here we go. This is Fortnite Fabrics, 28 count even weave. It was the fabric of the month from February. Hen of the Woods is what it's called. And it is magneting itself. Here is my progress. So I'm doing the pumpkins different than the pattern calls for because I'm using this jack-o'-lantern colorway. So I'm filling in the whole pumpkins, and I also did it with this blue pumpkin here because it, in the pattern, it has like these like lines to like define the segments of the pumpkins, but I decided not to do that. Like, can you see the little birdie?
Yeah, birdie.
So, yeah, so I'm working on that. Oh, I forgot to like say, I'll still put the picture up, but I forgot to say, this is where I was last week when I recorded. I'll have to get used to doing that. Okay, next up in my project bag from a Stitch Toolbox, my Outlander to Bed or to Sleep project bag, I am working on a project for Dammy's birthday. And you'll see in a moment that I started a new project. And so I don't know if I'm gonna get this done in time, but Dammy's already told me it's okay. I am working on Cats and Mandalas February by Kitty and Me Designs, Pamela Kellogg. And this is on a 28 count fabric by Be Stitch Me. I can't remember what the color is. Artemis, maybe? All right, okay. And I'm using all the called for flosses. My flosses are going nuts. I'm trying to get them. This is where I was last week when I recorded. We'll do that while I'm trying to get this together so you can actually see. I've been parking my threads and they're kind of going crazy. And here is where I am today. So I finished up this whole section over here, and then I've started there in the middle. So yeah, I'm making progress. But this got set aside this after I worked on it a little bit this week because of the very, very sad news about Justice
Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Thank you. I was like, I had the G and I was like, all of a sudden it just was gone. The very sad news that she passed away. And so Michelle Bindi Stitchy designed a freebie that you can download. I believe the link is in her Instagram. And I think she put it up as a free post on Patreon. Even if you're not participating in Patreon, I still think you can download it for free from there. So it's just called RBG Freebie. This is what it looks like. Oops, sorry. Real change, enduring change happens one step at a time. RBG 1933 to 2020. So I just pulled this 14 count cream colored Ada out of my stash, and I'm stitching it with Etoile floss. So I'm using this color, and then for the words, this color is Etoile C603, and then for the words I'm going to use, no, I'm sorry, the silver was C318, and the other color I'm going to use is C603. And I'm going to use that for the words. And it's sparkly. I don't know how I'm going to finish this, like fully finish it, but it just spoke to me. There's also been some beautiful patterns designed out there by some various designers that say things, the quote about when there are 9, because she was asked, when will there be enough women justices on the Supreme Court? And she said, when there are 9. So, yeah. So that is, I'm kind of channeling my grief and anger and rage and over everything that has happened this week and this year into that project. So, okay, and then my final thing in my Knit Run Dig Winnie the Pooh project bag is my Edinburgh Castle by Terra Luna Stitchery. I am using the Pattern Keeper software on a Kindle Fire 7. My needle minders are from Top Knot Stitcher, which I have an order coming from Top Knot Stitcher today too, Dammy. I'm very excited.
The email.
Yeah, it's that one pattern that I told you, the ink circles one that I've been wanting to get, and the Halloween just cross stitch.
Mm-hmm.
So we can talk about it later, because I can either kind of do a flip through it next week when I record by myself, or if you want me to wait until you're on as well, we can. Is the rain just like crazy?
Yeah, you want to come look?
Oh, I can hear it.
You want to come look out the window?
Okay, sure. Take us on a field trip. Holy cow!
I live here.
I learned last night on my Zoom with my professor. This is wow, Dammy. Wow. So your hand like this, like you're holding a ball? I learned that last night. Okay. Anyway, so yes, my Top Knot Stitcher order is coming today, and we can talk about if you want me to wait to do the flip through till you're on or not. Okay. My Grime Guard is from Crab Shack Stitchery, and my Snippety is again from Caddy Cross Stitches. So last week when I showed you this, it would have been the 17th, I think. I was at 25,600 stitches. And Dammy, when I showed it to them last week, I was like, oh, I'm going to start the new column. I'm going to be one square away from having another page finish. When I was like, screw that, we're going to have a page finish this week. So I did 200 stitches one day so that I could finish the column and have a page finished. So here is where I am. If you want to see the picture folded out, it's on Instagram, or next week I'll post that one with it folded out. So now I'm at 26,400 stitches out of 265,824. I'm at 9.931% complete. So almost 10% complete. And I have finished 5 of 60 pages. Cool. Yeah, so making progress. So I will start the next page. I am getting close, Dammy. I don't know if you can see. Let's see. I'm getting close to the castle. Wait, no, I need to go this way.
Very nice.
What?
Very nice.
Oh, okay. I thought you said something about noise. Yeah, so I'm like...
You heard the noise?
I'm like right around... it's going to be a thing. I'm at right around, like, this way. Right around here-ish. So, I will get to the castle eventually. And that is everything for this week. I don't think we have any cross stitch coming up, but we would love for you to stick around, even if you're here just for the cross stitch, because there's all kinds of fun things still to come. So let's go ahead and move on to the next segment. And now it's time for our favorite part of the show, Yummies. What are Yummies, Dammy?
Yummies are our current favorite things we like, things we want to talk to you about.
Yummies. I had such trouble remembering that last week. I'm going to have to like write it down because I could never get it right. So, okay. In the post this week, I got this really, really cool word search puzzle book, but it's the American Sign Language alphabet. So, it's the finger spelling. I have already done the first 5 puzzles. Let me tell you, because A and S and T and M and N look all very similar. So A, S, T, M, and N, those are all very, very similar. Those ones are hard. But things like B and L and Y and Z and K and P, those are very easy. Oh, E is another one that's very similar. Oh, V and W and X. E is another one that's very similar to those other ones because they all have that same hand shape. So those ones are a little harder. But while I'm talking about that, I might as well talk about being back in school. So for the first time in 11 years, I went back to school starting on Monday to become an ASL, American Sign Language interpreter. So you will see probably as I'm learning more and more that I probably will incorporate some signing into the podcast. I would love to one day be able to be as fluent as my friend Amy, Creativity by Gidge, who signs her whole FlossTube episodes. So one day I will get there. I was telling my professor that last night. But it has been a trial of errors this week with the class. It was like 57 storms just converged and everything that could go wrong. Not anything that like I could personally fix, but just technology and problems behind the scenes. And we're not using actual textbooks. We're using these 2 different websites. Well, there's the Canvas website and then two other websites that we had to buy access codes to. Well, for one of them, they planned the whole class using the 2nd edition, and the bookstore sold us all the 3rd edition. So they're having to like go in and change all of it to fix it. Yeah. So, but I'm working hard on things, and I was showing Dammy last night. So I had heard about this app for the iPhone called the Tiny Decisions Wheel, and I think there's one that's very similar for Android. But what I did yesterday, because normally if Dammy was home, I would hand them my list of vocabulary and have them randomly say words and I would sign them. Well, Dammy is not here. So that makes it a little harder, and Dammy's in school as well. So I downloaded the Tiny Decisions app and I put half of my book. I've only done half of my vocabulary, but I put it on the wheel and then I spin the wheel. No. And then I set it to where it doesn't choose that again until it does the whole wheel. And so I need to work through my other half of my vocabulary and get them on there as well. But I didn't want it to be where I had just memorized it all in order and then couldn't be able to think of it unless I was doing it in the order. So this is helping to shuffle things. I was showing it to your daddy last night, and he was like, I wish they had that when I was doing Greek and Hebrew. He was like, I just put it all on flashcards and just shuffled the flashcards. I was like, I'm not doing flashcards.
There's also Quizlet,
Oh, okay.
which is just online flashcards.
Oh, okay. Okay. So yeah, anyway, so that's where I am with school. The professor who is deaf, which is really cool that we're being taught by someone who is deaf, extended the homework deadline for this week because of all the technology problems. So I was actually on a Zoom call with her for an hour last night, and it was a lot of fun. It kind of got crazy at one point because it was pouring down rain, and she had an interpreter in the Zoom call, and then the interpreter's power went out, and interpreter's gone. And out of the 3 students that were in there, including me, I was the one that knew the most sign language, which still is not a very much, but one of the other students had a few questions that I actually knew the answers to because I've having talked to the professor and the TA and everything over the last few days. So I was able to talk to that student, and the other student that was in the room was typing in the chat to tell the professor what we were talking about, because the professor can lip read, but that's very hard to do on a Zoom call. So, but the other crazy thing, if I feel like the old lady in the class, because, I'm about to be 43 next week, and all the students thus far who have introduced themselves are between the ages of like 16 and 20, because there's a lot of
babies.
Yes, there's a lot of Running Start students, which is a program where you can take college classes for credit while you're in high school that they have here and I'm sure lots of states have a similar program. So, but I feel like the old lady in the room because I'm old enough to be all of their mothers. So, okay, next thing I want to show you, I'm going to have to put the pictures up on the screen, but remember I had been working earlier this year on birthday slippers for my niece Lola and for my nephews Wyatt and Waylon for their birthdays. Well, Lola's 12th birthday was this last week. And I got pictures of her opening the slippers, and she loved them, and she was so cute. So she really liked them. She texted me later and told me thank you and everything. It was very sweet. So, but I thought I would show you all the pictures so that you could see actually, what happened. And then the other thing I got in the post this week was a card from my friend Amy, who is Creativity by Gidge, and she is a Color Street stylist, and she sent me a set of Color Street in the Los Angeles colorway. And so I have these very, very beautiful pink nails. I need to they're growing out. But I've been very pleased with them, and in fact I ordered more nails. So it looks like Dammy's internet is glitching a little bit, but it's because of the rain. And there's nothing we can do about that. So you're fine. You're just there's little bits where it like just jumps. You know what I mean? Just like kind of jumps a little. But yeah. So the Color Street, and there's my beautiful Los Angeles nails. and I ordered 4 more sets. They had a sale thingy where if you bought 3, you got 1 free. So I did. I got some Halloween ones, including kitties.
Kitty.
And pumpkins. And then I also bought their charity set for October for October's infant loss and miscarriage awareness month. So, hey, Dammy, do you have any yummies you would like to throw in here? The dogs upstairs are having a party. Dogs.
Plural. They got another one?
It sounds like more than one dog up there. I don't know.
Oh yeah, so I'm in school doing stuff. Yeah. The first weekend, after our first weekend of classes, me and my roommates went to one of their hometowns, Chelan in Eastern Washington. I think we were very safe and social distance, but we went shopping, we went swimming in the lake, had fun.
Hike.
Yeah, we went on a hike. That wasn't my favorite part. Even though apparently it's an easy trail.
We don't do a lot of hiking because I can't physically do it. So
no, the two of them that grew up in Washington have done a lot of hiking.
Oh, cool. The rains just got harder here.
Oh, it's calmed down. Oh, maybe I spoke too soon.
We're taking turns. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you had a good trip away.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, Dammy, let's.
Mac and cheese.
Oh yeah. Awesome. I do too. Let's talk about hashtag GGKCraftyPad. What is it?
It is our crafty photo a day challenge. We have a list of photo prompts for each month. And so if you want to participate, you take a look at the prompt for that day, take a picture for it, post it anywhere you like, but we pick our favorites from Instagram.
Yes, and we're picking favorites for the past 2 weeks because I'm not doing it when I'm doing the episode by myself. But we released the October list today, Dammy.
Oh, is this spooky?
So it is, it's Halloween, autumn, our birthdays, because both of our birthdays are in October, and some other just normal stuff. So you're about to see that prompts list here in just a moment, but it's also up on our website at ggkcs.com and social media and everything as well. So what are we about to show them, Dammy?
2 photos from us that we liked and 5 photos from other people that we liked.
Here come the photos. Those are our favorite photos. Great job, everybody. It's never too late to join in. You take a look at the prompt for the day. Today's prompt is black and white. I think I'm going to use one of those pictures that I sent you last night of Pinky and make it black and white.
Maybe.
Yeah, we'll get your baby over here in just a few minutes. So you interpret the prompt however you want. We're very cheater friendly on that. Post it on Instagram. Make sure in the caption you use hashtag GGKCraftyPad because that's how we find your photo. If you have a private Instagram account and you're participating in GGKCraftyPad, you need to make sure that Dammy's Doodles is following you. Otherwise, we can't see your photos. So send them a message and they'll follow you and all will be good. So, okay. Well, I think that is everything for this segment, so I think we're ready to move on to the next one. Okay, we had to have a little visit from Pinky before we do the next segment. Say hi. Say hi.
Are you a sleepy?
I'm very sleepy. I was so hungry this morning, dear me. I eat all my food at once. And then I got the cat crazies. And my tail kept following me.
Oh no.
It followed me all around and I kept getting it.
Oh no.
And then I went to sleep on couch.
Yeah.
The end.
And
Hi. You have anything to say?
anything?
No.
Anything at all?
I had nothing, dear me. I'm sleepy.
Nothing at all? Really?
That means put me down. Okay, I'm going to put you down.
Bye-bye.
There you go. Okay, let me straighten up. I was like, I can't, I couldn't get the tray as close as as I had it because Pink was in my lap. So, okay. Do you want to start the segment? We never started it.
Now we're going to talk about what we are reading, watching, and listening to.
So what are you reading, Dammy?
In addition, so you want to talk about Race by Ijeoma Oluo. I've got that up on my shelf here. And The Glass Scientist, which is a webcomic by Sabrina Katungo. I've read lots of excerpts from stuff. I read excerpts from, I think it's called Decoloniality by Catherine E. Walsh and Walter Mignolo, but we didn't read the whole book. I read the entirety of one play, but I didn't have you put it in there because it's very racist. But we need to read it to understand I hesitate to say adaptation, but reworking of it by a Black author within the 2010s. It's called The Octoroon by Dion Boucicault.
Okay. When was it written?
1840s.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah. That's what I've been up to.
School reading. Well, I know with all this stuff with your classes, definitely. Roommate, hello, roommate. That you are getting in 15 minutes a day.
Yeah.
What am I referring to?
The July, August, September read along.
She didn't see me wave. RAL, yes. So this is our challenge for you to read 15 minutes a day every day. It doesn't matter what you're reading as long as you're reading. Audiobooks do count. And we have our seasonal alongs, which the September one is coming to a close next week. July, August, September one is coming to a close. And by participating in those, you earn entries into the year-long challenge. And we'll be giving away 3 grand prizes at the beginning of 2021. There is a finish line thread in our Facebook group at
facebook.com/groups/GGKCS.
Dammy, would you tell them what they need to answer when they join the group?
There are 3 questions that you need to answer. The first is, what's our cat's name? Name's Pink. Pink, the color. Pink. The second is, who's the mama, Cece or Dammy? The answer is Cece. I am the child, not the daughter. And the third is, at the very bottom of the rules, you scroll down and click the box that says, yes, I agree to the rules.
Yes. And then we will approve your membership. So, yes. Okay. Let me tell you what I am reading. So I finished reading, actually, After Evangelicalism, The Path to a New Christianity by David P. Gushee. Very, very well-written book. I enjoyed it immensely, even though there were some difficult parts to read. And I'm reading this as part of the LGBTQ Faith Book Club, which is for both people of the community as well as allies that I'm doing. And Monday night we have our book club meeting, and the author will be joining us for part of the call. So I'm excited about that. There must be clouds because your light is dark and light and dark and light.
Oh yeah, the clouds moved away, so now it's more blue outside.
Yeah. Okay, and then I also read it in its entirety this week, Refocusing My Family, Coming Out, Being Cast Out, and Discovering the True Love of God by Amber Cantorna. Amber is the one who's in charge of the book club that I'm in, but Amber grew up with her father being an executive at Focus on the Family. And after Amber came out, her family disowned her and cut her off and all of that. So it's her story. And then I just started reading because I was listening to Brene Brown's podcast, and she had on Sonia Renee Taylor, who wrote The Body is Not an Apology, The Power of Radical Self-Love. And so I just started reading that after hearing that interview. So fiction-wise, this week was supposed to be the second half of Christmas on the Closed Ward, which is a chapter in the fifth Harry Potter book, The Order of the Phoenix. But Swish and Flick actually are doing some special episodes about mental health. And so we'll have to wait to finish the rest of the chapter. So, yeah, so that was that. I am reading book 3 in the Red Rising saga by Pierce Brown. It's called Morning Star. I'm actually listening to it. And it is a dystopian space, Hunger Games, war, etc., book. I finished reading Strange Practice, which was book number 1 in the Dr. Greta Helsing series by Vivian Shaw. She's a doctor to like vampires and werewolves and Inhumans and all of that. So set in London. So I read that. I just finished reading last night book number 1 in the Kingdom of Cards series called Where Dreams Descend by Janella Angelis. It was so good. So it's about this, so in this world, magic is a thing. And there's this town that there's a lot of mysteriousness to it, but there's a lot of magic, and this circus comes to town and they are doing a magic contest. And as happens, primarily men, because they think that men are the ones that should be practicing the magic. But this one woman enters and is in the contest, and so it's this story of this town, but also of her history and her mentor's history, and it was a really, really well done book. I really enjoyed it. The sequel is coming out next year, so I've already marked that I need to pay attention for its release date to read it. And then I started, after I finished that last night, I started Slay by Brittany Morris, and it's about this high school student who is Black, a female student, who has created this video game that is about being Black, but it's this it's virtual reality game, but nobody knows she's the creator. And I've only read just a little bit of the beginning, but I know, like in the synopsis or the teaser, whatever, it says that someone is killed because of a fight within the game. And so the story is of what happens and everything because of this. So I've just started that. So I am looking forward to read more about that. We finished rewatching season 6 of Psych, and we watched Psych the Musical. I've heard it both ways, the right way and the wrong way. That has been running through my head ever since we watched it this week. And then we finished rewatching season 7. And now we're rewatching season 8 because season 8 is the final season. I wrote the wrong numbers down. I'm fixing that so I can fix it in the show notes. So yeah, so we just watched the first episode of season 8 last night. So I think there's only 9 more episodes in season 8, and then there's Psych the movie, and then Psych 2 Lassie Come Home movie, which we just watched this summer. So, and then I think what we're going to watch is, because most of our new shows aren't starting back, is rewatch the first season of The Mandalorian, because the second season is coming out in October.
Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda. And then I'm watching season 7 of The 100. I'm ready for it to be done. I don't know how many more episodes, but I am so ready for it to be done. Let me look and see if it says on IMDb.
Baby Yoda, baby Yoda, baby Yoda, baby Yoda, baby Yoda, baby Yoda, baby Yoda.
Oh, next week's the finale. Thank goodness.
Oh, I thought they didn't finish filming it.
The 100, I guess they figured out. I don't know, because the series finale is next week.
What?
They didn't finish filming Winona Earp, but lots of shows are going back to filming now.
Yay!
I've been seeing things. So, and then listening to my favorite murder podcast. David Tennant does a podcast with. This week, Tim Minchin was on.
It's explicit.
It is very explicit. Yeah, at the very beginning, he was like, I don't remember what word he used, but essentially was like, am I allowed to curse?
Can I use a swear word?
So.
Nuggets.
So, but it was really interesting. Like, I knew who Tim Minchin was, but I didn't really know his history. He was just, he wasn't just in this summer when we were watching some of Andrew Lloyd Webber stuff. We watched,
Jesus Christ
Superstar, and he played Judas, right? Yeah. So we watched that. I'm listening to Unlocking Us with Brene Brown podcast, Evolving Faith podcast, random Spotify playlists. What are you listening to?
Cabin Pressure, Spotify playlists.
Yes. I have found that the Deep Focus playlist on Spotify, which is one that I think Spotify put together, is really good for reading nonfiction and studying. Because there's no words, it's just all instrumental, and it just, when I want to get stuff done, Hamilton is my playlist. When I need to focus, Deep Focus is the one that I found that works for me. And at night, I listen to the Night Rain podcast. Not podcast, playlist. So, okay, I think that is everything that we are reading, watching, listening to. So let's move on to the next segment.
And now we're going to talk about our September, October, November artistic autumnal owl.
Yay.
So this started on the 1st of September and it runs through the 30th of November. It is for any project that you knit, crochet, weave, spin, stitch, or sew that you can convince us is related to autumn. If you can't think of anything, you made it in the autumn. There are a couple main rules for this and all our owls. The first is that no whips are allowed. Your project can't have been begun earlier than the 1st of September and can't be finished later than the 30th of November. Also, each project that you knit, crochet, weave, or spin must be at least 20 yards. If it's not at least 20 yards, you need to group it in a single comment and thus a single photo in our Facebook FO thread, and that will count as one entry. For stitching and sewing projects, we'll leave it up to your best judgment. You can feel free to polydip in other make-alongs that are going on as long as it fits in with the other rules. That's totally fine. You can please complete our Google form in order to help us make sure that you will receive a prize that you won't actually enjoy using, because we have some yarn, we have some cross-stitch stuff, but not everyone stitches.
And not everyone knits or crochets. So
Stuff like
the link to that is in the show notes and in the Facebook group.
We have lots of wonderful prizes on our screen right now. Thank you so much to everyone who donated these prizes. If you want to get a closer look at these prizes, I'm saying prizes a lot. You can go to our show notes, ggkcs.com, or tune into the first-ish podcast of every month, where we talk about them in detail.
So next time Dammy is on, we'll talk about them in detail.
You have to be a member of our podcast group on Facebook in order to participate. We already told you the answers to the group questions. There's a hashtag if you want to tag your social media posts. It is GGKCS Autumn 20. Our FO thread will be locked for comments the morning of the 1st of December, and winners will be drawn for the next podcast after that. And any winners always have 30 days to claim their prize or they forfeit it. There's also a chatter thread in the Facebook group where you can chatter and talk about your projects. And I'm also going to give shout outs to people who finished projects in the last 2 weeks. They were Jane S., Monique, Sarah, and Tracy.
Good job, everybody. So keep working on those projects. You have a little over 2 months to get projects done and posted. And just a reminder, if you participated in the Summertime Owl or you entered the 8th Podiversary giveaways, we have some outstanding prize winners that have not claimed their prizes, and your 30 days are going to be coming up soon. So if you entered either of those, you need to go back and watch the video and see if you were a winner. So, all right, I think we're ready to move on to the next segment.
And now it's time for Ask the Geeks. It's a hard word to say. The part of our show where you ask us things and we try to answer them. This was originally asked and answered in 2015. It's from Mandy. So it says, if you've answered this already, I apologize in advance, but I'm curious. Your Trek fans, who is your favorite captain? Kirk, Picard, Soto, Janeway, or Archer? Me, it's Picard. Oh, I think that's meant to say Cisco. Me, it's Picard all day, every day, but Archer is up there too.
Why don't you answer first?
I like Janeway. But I also really like Cisco.
Yeah, I'm the same. I really like Janeway, but Cisco's story arc over the seasons of Deep Space Nine. If I get a desire to watch Star Trek, I will turn on any episode of Deep Space Nine because I know. Yeah, but I loved them having Janeway as a woman as the captain. Yeah, it's been a while since we've watched any Star Trek. So, yeah, just all kinds of other things. So, well, if you'd like to tell us who your favorite captain is, you can answer that in the Facebook group or in the YouTube comments below. Dammy, if somebody has a question for us, what should they do?
Go to our Ask the Geeks and post it in a comment. Or
Can you say that again? Because can you say that again? You cut out.
Yes. Go to our Ask the Geeks thread in our Facebook group and post it in a comment, or you can post it in the YouTube comments.
That's right. And thus far, after all of these years, there's not been a question we haven't been willing to answer. So feel free to ask away. All right, let's move on to the next segment.
And now we have a review.
So we have the new issue of Pom Pom Quarterly. This is issue number 34, Autumn 2020. Dammy has the digital version on their end, and I have the physical, and mine smells better than yours. I love the way this magazine smells. Okay, so for this issue, it is called The Home Issue with guest editor Ocean Rose. And these first these beginning pages, whose land are you on? Research which indigenous land you're currently occupying / living on. Say her name. Say the names of the forgotten Black women, and I think we could say indigenous women as well, whose lives were ended because of police brutality, especially after yesterday. Ocean Rose wrote a beautiful, beautiful intro, and then we've got some lovely, lovely patterns. So let me flip here. So the first is a sweater called Tortoiseshell. Sorry, I can't talk. Are you laughing at me?
Yes, it's her accent.
Tortoiseshell. I'm from Texas, y'all. By Sylvia Watts Cherry. Oh, one of the really cool things about this issue is they couldn't do traditional photo shoots, and so it was all these patterns were modeled and photographed all over the world by lots and lots of different people, and so it was really cool how they've made it happen. So this was designed by Sylvia Watts Cherry, inspired by the tufted fabric made by the Kuba, I would assume is how you say it, Kuba, Kuba people of today's Democratic Republic of the Congo, using harmonious combinations of diamonds and zigzags that form tortoise motifs. There's some other photos of it. And as always, Pom Pom has a very, very wide, generous spread of sizes, 9 sizes from 31 3/4 to 64.5-inch finished chest circumference, worn with 1 to 4 inches of positive ease. And again, we always love that they give us the information about the model's height, chest circumference, and what size they're wearing. Because that is so helpful. This is done in a fingering 4-ply weight yarn with US 3.25 mil needles, and it's worked, the front and back are worked separately from the bottom up and seamed. A very, very beautiful color work sweater. Next up is Delphinius.
I really like this one.
I think this is probably my favorite.
It's by Arlie Tixier. I said it because I knew you would have a problem with it.
Thank you. It draws upon the idea that home is where the heart is. Knit with an abundance of ease, which I'm about to show you some pictures that really show that off, with a cabled front. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So this is in, again, 9 sizes, chest circumference of 43.5 to 75-inch, worn with 13 3/4 to 15 3/4 inches positive ease. That is a ton of positive ease. In a fingering 4-ply, as well as a lace weight yarn, held together on US 4's 3.5 mil needles and US 8's 5 mil needles. Worked from the bottom up in the round to the armholes with a front cable panel and a folded ribbed edge. It's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. I love it so much. Do you want to say the name of this next one?
Next one is Chuska by Trissa Weidenar.
I adore that photo. Stunning. This was named after the, how did you say the name again?
I think it's Chuska.
Chuska Mountains that traverse the modern borders of Arizona and New Mexico to form the heart of the Navajo country. And the designer was inspired by Navajo rugs and blankets. So this is in 1 size, done with DK weight yarn on a US 7 4.5 mil needles. It's knit in the round using an I-cord cast on and cast off. While there are 5 colors in the cowl, no more than 2 colors are worked on each round. And the longest float spans 5 stitches. I love that they tell you that. I don't think I've ever done a pattern before that told me how much the longest float would be. That's brilliant, brilliant. Next up is Nestle Down.
This one is by Armanuhi Avanian.
Welcomes a new season as we feel autumnal wind whisper greetings on our outings. It features a raglan.
Crazy.
Yeah, it features a raglan sleeve for ease of movement. My only issue with this is that I feel like it was choking me.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just because of how the neck is done there, which that would bother me if I wore it. Again, this is in 9 sizes, 36 inch to 67.5 inch chest circumference with 6 to 10 inches of positive ease. I'm not telling you centimeters as we're talking, but all that it tells it both in centimeters as well as in inches. Done with a DK weight yarn on US 6's 4mm needles, worked from the top down in the round with raglan sleeves, German short rows for the back neck, and it's got a split hem. Yeah, it's beautiful. I think just the neck would bother me if I did it for myself. So, okay, next up we have a shawl. Jeremy, do you want to say the name of this one?
Yes, it says how to pronounce it in the first line. It's Naya by Malia May Joseph. And I really like this one too.
I do too. I figured you and I would have similar favorites in this one. Explores the idea of home as the comfort found in the meditative satisfaction of repetitive motions and patterns. So it comes in 1 size, done with fingering 4-ply weight yarn on US 9's 5.5mm needles. It's knit from end to end in a repeating honeycomb and chevron cable pattern. And then fringe is applied once it's complete. It's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, next up we have Atlantica. By Audrey Borrego. It imagines the surrender of coming upon shelter in an uncharted sea. Lots and lots and lots of lace. So this comes in 10 sizes, from 35.5 to 70 3/4 inch chest circumference with 10 inches of positive ease, knit in lace weight. Oh, wait. Oh, okay, it's knit with 2 colors of lace weight held together. Okay, on US 6's 4mm and US 4's 3.5mm needles. Worked from the bottom up in the round to the underarm and then divided. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, next up we have the crossfade. Which is by A.L. Leong. It captures the protective connectivity of the sky's embracing canopy. Here's some more pictures of it. So this one comes in 2 sizes. In a DK weight yarn on US 7's 4.5mm needles. It's knit flat as a narrow symmetrical triangle shawl with a reversible slip stitch edging. It starts with a 3-stitch cast on, increases our work to the widest point, and then decreases to the cast off tip. Okay, next up we have some socks, Celestite. By Isabel Ale. Sky blue celestite crystals are said to possess angelic properties, helpful for sharing a moment with something celestial, aiding the formation of astral dreams, expanding creativity, and opening the heart space. So these come in 3 sizes. It's in a fingering 4-ply weight yarn on US 0's 2mm and US 1's 2.25mm. These are worked toe up with a textured colorwork pattern and an afterthought heel. And it talks about the floats in these as well. I feel like, let me see if I can show this without showing the pattern. That picture kind of shows the sock, I believe, better. So there's that. And then we have, do you want to try to pronounce this, Dami?
Yanyu by Tiffany Wong.
So this one talks about the harvest moon coming each autumn around the equinox, and the Chinese, Vietnamese, and other East Asian communities that celebrate the Mid-Autumn Festival. Design cues come from the traditional Chinese, a type of short padded jacket with wide sleeves. So this comes in 10 sizes from 40.5 to 77.5, chest circumference with 16 inches of positive ease. It's a DK weight yarn using US 10.5, 6.5 mil needles. It's knit flat in pieces and seamed. And the two yarns are used double throughout, always worked with two strands held together of yarn A or yarn B. So it's a very bulky sweater. This is my other favorite from the issue Auralite.
This is by Wei Chin Chen.
The designer lives on an island in Nunavut's Arctic archipelago. And the Auralite crystal is a rare form of amethyst that is said to promote harmony and balance in the energetic body. Here are some more photos. This comes in 9 sizes from 32 to 64-inch chest circumference with 3 inches of positive ease. Done in a DK weight yarn. Ooh, this is an alpaca linen silk blend that is the sample. And a lace weight. 2 strands held together throughout. Done on US 7's 4.5 mil needles. It's worked in the round from the top down, beginning with a ribbed neckline. Short rows are used with seamless colorwork round yoke. Sleeves and body separated at the underarm, and the body's worked to the hem, and then sleeve is picked up. Then we have an article called The Language of Wool by Elliot Maud. And the author is a queer disabled Filipinx American maker and wordsmith. And they talk about giving up knitting and then coming back to it. There's also an article called Deconstructing String by Sukrita Mahan. Talking about yarn. There is a recipe for the no-bake berry cheesecake by Kat Seixas.
They exist.
Okay. Which looks delicious. And then we've got the patterns, and then there's also a tutorial for a project called the Heart Mender. And it's a little pouch that you can use to hold supplies to be able to mend projects. And then we have the contributors. I don't remember them ever doing this before, but I'm glad they're doing it now. They are including pronouns in their list of the contributors, and the yarn, and the end. And that is Pom Pom Quarterly, Autumn 2020. What do you have any final thoughts on that?
Very nice.
Yeah, I was very, very impressed with it, and yeah, some really great patterns, and I just appreciate some of the special details that they put forth in this issue. So highly recommend Pom Pom. We've been a fan of theirs for many, many years, and highly recommend their stuff. So Pom Pom Quarterly. All right, let's move on to the next segment. All right, we made it to the end of the show, Dammy.
Yay!
Yeah, hopefully there was not too many technical glitches that you've seen. Hopefully I was able to deal with most of them. If not, thank you for your forgiveness and understanding in advance. This is just the world we're living in right now. So, we don't have any announcements other than, this is our new schedule where Dammy will be on every other week, and then in the opposite weeks, I'll be recording by myself. And all those episodes come out on Fridays, and Stitch With Me come out on Mondays. So, but let's talk about, we like to say a big thank you. We love you guys. Let's see if we can do this heart. That's a very misshapen heart. I think that's as good as we're going to get it. To everybody who supports the podcast FlossTube, no matter how it is you do, giving a thumbs up, watching, subscribing, liking, commenting, being in our Facebook group, owls, all the things. But an especially big thank you to those of you who support us financially. Your financial support helps pay for shipping of prizes, buying prizes, technology behind the scenes, and all those things. There are 4 ways you can support us financially. First is Patreon, which is a site where you pledge a certain amount a month to your favorite creatives, and you earn rewards based on the level you donate at. Dammy, if somebody wants more info about that or wants to sign up, where should they go?
Patreon.com/GGKCS.
What's another way?
There's also a PayPal button in the sidebar of our website if you would like to make a one-time donation.
We are now affiliates of bookshop.org, where we create a list on Bookshop every week of the books that we talk about in that week's episode. Bookshop is an online bookstore with a mission to financially support local independent bookstores. If you purchase a book from our list, we earn a commission, and local independent bookstores also earn money from your purchase. There's a link in the show notes, or you can go to bookshop.org/shop/GGKCS. And finally, we are amazon.com.co.uk and .ca affiliates. If you're going to shop on Amazon, if you go to our site first, look in the sidebar or at the bottom of the show notes for your appropriate link. Click, do your shopping as normal, and we earn a little money back based on what you purchase. It doesn't cost you anything extra, and it's a great way to support the podcast by doing something you would be doing anyway. Well, with that, we're going to tell you goodbye. We encourage you to please, oh no, wait, Dammy, you have to tell them where to find us online.
You can find us at ggkcs.com. There are links to everywhere else we are online, which include YouTube, Facebook, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Instagram, etc.
Yes. Now with that, we're going to tell you goodbye. Remember to wear your masks. Stay safe. Stay hydrated. Social distance. Take care of yourselves. Those still dealing with wildfires and the effects from that. Everyone in our community and in the world that are dealing with the terrible tragedies that have happened for many years now, but especially this year, things are just really coming to a head. We encourage you to make sure you are registered to vote. If you are in the U.S. and you were watching this, you need to make sure that you are registered to vote, and you need to make sure you either do an early, in some states it's called an absentee ballot. I know for us here in Washington's ballots are mailed to us, and we only vote by mail. But your voice matters, and you need to make sure that you vote. Things are not going to change unless we all step up and make the change happen. Do you want to say anything, Dammy?
No.
Okay. So, we've had many conversations about this over the last months. So, we will be back with you again next week, and until then, happy crafting, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye.
Bye.
There's a certain little baby kitty who just loves to sleep in the sun. Hi, baby. Are you sleeping in the sun? Yeah, you love the sunshine, don't you? Sweet girl. Loves the sunshine.